how badly Jazz Chisholm Jr. embarrassed himself.
Look, as he said when he came off the field to his manager, Aaron Boone, he said, well, I didn't mess up my swing.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsulias. I have been hosting Locked On Yankees for 7 years. My anniversary technically is coming up at the end of this month. And so I've been here for nearly the entire time that Aaron Boone has been managing the Yanks, and it's been a rockin' good time. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. And with me, as usual, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian, happy Home Run Derby night as we record this.
Yeah, I like the Home Run Derby, but I don't think there's any changes to be made to it. This was fun.
Yeah. I have issues with the broadcast, but we'll discuss that when we discuss the Home Run Derby. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, and hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. We also have a new TikTok page. You can follow us there at LockedOn_Yankees. On today's show, we have some news from around the league. We'll be previewing the All-Star game because, you know, there are some Yankees in the All-Star game. We'll also tell you about the guys that the Yankees drafted. There were a bunch of them, and some of them have really cool names. So we'll be talking about that. But first, the Home Run Derby.
The expected guy won, right? Cal Raleigh, the superstar of the first half of the year with all these home runs. I guess that guy was the guy who won. Some young names that I guess if you're not following the entire league, you weren't aware of. Like, Candelario, Junior Candelario's got unreal power. Out of him, O'Neal Cruz was, you know what's funny is they didn't really track the exit velo on a lot. They weren't really advertising the exit velo, but I feel like O'Neal Cruz must have hit some balls 140 miles an hour.
He hit, I saw something, someone wrote it. He hit the most that were 450 feet plus, and he hit the most that were over 115 miles an hour.
I mean, it was outrageous.
He hit like 7 of them that hard.
How hard he was hitting the ball. It was unbelievable. The storyline for us here on Locked On Yankees is, or I guess has to be, how badly Jazz Chisholm Jr. embarrassed himself.
Look, as he said when he came off the field to his manager, Aaron Boone, he said, well, I didn't mess up my swing.
We don't know that until the season starts.
No.
Restarts.
He's fine. He's not going through 3 rounds of Home Run Derby. And he also said to Judge, when Judge was tallying himself off and he walked up to Judge, he said, I'm tired as S, which the ESPN camera caught. And I thought was the funniest thing because I don't know if people realize how tiring it is to swing like that, especially when there's a time limit and they have to throw the pitches, within 2 minutes, you have to get a number of them off in order to hit them all. And it was embarrassing for Jazz, but the rest of it was good. O'Neal Cruz, like you said, my God, he hit one of them 513 feet.
Yeah, he hit one out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I know it took a couple of years since Truist Park opened up to get an All-Star game there. It looks like an unbelievable place to watch a baseball game. The stadium itself looks really cool, and the whole surrounding area that I know it took a few years to build up, but with the hotels in that area and the restaurants and everything around, it looks like a really fun place they built out there.
Yeah, I'm also glad they got rid of those railings that were on the side there that were hurting people the first season. I don't know. I sometimes wonder what goes through people's brains when they build stadiums like, Yankee Stadium, where 3/4 of the field was blocked by the restaurant in the bleachers. And they decide, what made them decide to make Monument Cave? Because it's not a park, it's a cave. Monument Park in the old stadium was an actual park. I just sometimes
they were trying to get more seats closer to the field. I think it was
I always joke that they were building the stadium, and at the last minute, they all thought, oh crap, we forgot Monument Park, and they put it where they put it.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm still waiting for an all-star game and a home run derby to be at the new Yankee Stadium, because I feel like that would be a lot of fun to watch with some of the balls that Judge and Stan have hit there and stuff. So that would be really fun.
I mean, it was fun at the old stadium.
It was amazing. I mean, the old stadium's home run derby is one of the best ones looking back that we've seen in maybe in history. I mean, that's how good that one was. The Josh Hamilton performance, and people forget that Josh Hamilton didn't even win that.
Didn't even win. Justin Morneau won.
Justin Morneau won. Yes, which is crazy to think about how Josh Hamilton had that crazy performance but didn't win. That was back in the 10-out format. So I know a lot of people don't love the time limit on what they have now, because the guys get more tired quicker and stuff. And there is an element of truth to that. But I will say this is much more of a watchable event. This was over in 3 hours. It's a much more of a watchable event than it was
5 hours long. I mean, I remember sitting through the Giambi Sosa one in Milwaukee in 2002, and it felt like it was never going to end.
Yeah, some of those were literally ending at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it wasn't feasible anymore. I remember when I was young, I don't remember which specific All-Star game it was, but I would record basically the entire All-Star weekend on DVR. Remember what that was? And I would wind up having like a 6-hour recording of the home run derby, because I'd have to record 3 episodes of whatever was on after the home run derby. It was
like they would have the window for the home run derby from like 8 to 10, and you think to yourself, this thing's not ending until at least after midnight, so you'd have to record all the shows that you thought were going to be on ESPN after. Yeah, it was a wild time where that was going way too long. So they did a good job by shortening it with the time limit. It makes it a little more exciting, so that's really fun. But I do love getting the younger talent in the game in the home run derby. Like, people were killing Miskowski being in the All-Star game for the Brewers, and how is he getting elected in when he's only 5 starts into his career? This is unfair. The All-Star game is Major League Baseball's way of being able to promote their young talent to the rest of the league, because baseball is a very regional sport, Stacey. It's not the NFL. People that live in New York are not watching the Atlanta Braves play on a daily. They're not watching the Milwaukee Brewers play on a daily. Well, not anymore.
No, you're right.
Not that WTBS. I used to watch them, and I used to watch the Red Sox on was it SBK, I think, was down here that we had. So yeah, other than that, it's
a regional game. Yeah. So in order to get people aware of the superstars that are in the sport and get them to try and focus on other teams, you have to advertise them in the one moment where you have every team represented, and that's the All-Star game. So I have no problem with putting a young pitcher that throws 103 miles an hour in the All-Star game. It's what the All-Star game is for. Phillies fans have a right to gripe about Christopher Sanchez being in or Ranger Suarez being in, because they had great years, but you want to promote the young talent in the game. That's the same reason why Paul Skeens, after 12 starts, was in the All-Star game last year. These guys are the young stars of the game, and they need to be represented. So I don't have a problem with that, but the home run derby is a great spot. I mean, people are just not even aware of Junior Candelario and the amount of power that he has. And his power, Caminero, his power is the flick of a wrist. Yeah. It's so quick off the bat. He's got some unbelievable power. So, I mean, I think the All-Star game was what it needs to be. It was fun. That's all it was. It was fun.
Yeah.
The home run derby, I guess.
O'Neal Cruz was just hitting those balls like the one that went over the roof. That wasn't even the 513. The 513 was in the first round. I don't even know what that one was measured as. The one that hit went over the roof.
And it's crazy too, because this is more of a launch angle battle, because O'Neal Cruz doesn't remotely lead the league, and I think he has 16 home runs. He doesn't remotely lead the league in home runs at all. Like, he's not.
Jazz actually has more home runs than him. Jazz has 17. O'Neal Cruz has 16. He had the least out of all the participants. I think he was the lowest.
But the raw power and the launch angle, the exit velo, it was unbelievable to watch the runs that these guys going on. Even a guy who had an incredible run who actually didn't advance was Matt Olson. Yeah. The run that he went on where he had like 7 or 8 straight was unbelievable too, because he was on par with Jazz when he first got there, where he was hitting no home runs, and all of a sudden he went on a toot and went off. I don't think Jazz's body frame is built for a home run derby, though. He's not stocky enough. His body tires out way too quick.
He's so, like, when you looked at him at the plate, he looked so tiny compared to everyone else when they were up at the plate. I mean, even Matt Olson made him look tiny.
Well, look at the guys in the years past that have actually won the home run derby. There were a lot more stockier and big lower halves that actually wound up winning. Pete Alonso, last year, Teoscar Hernandez that won.
Vladdy Jr.
Vladdy Jr. These guys
Juan
with
Soto.
big stocky lower halves
Yeah.
are really what winds up winning in a home run derby because you have all that power and that muscle reserved in your legs when your arms go. So these shorter, smaller, lankier guys, it's not usually a recipe for success when it comes to a home run derby, but it's a fun event. And I hope Judge does it another time in his career. I really do.
I know, it's kind of, they showed him a few times watching it, and I just thought to myself, this would be so much better if he was in it because he would just hit tanks the entire time.
Yeah, it would be fun. It would be fun to watch. But
I understand.
He's more important to the Yankees' overall team success. So you don't need him, God forbid, ruining his swinging. He's mentioned in the past how he doesn't think 2017 helped his swinging. After 2017's home run derby, he got off to a little bit of a slow start in August. So
he still ended up with 52 home runs, which is
crazy. But he did get off to a little bit of a slow path in August that year. So maybe that had something to do with him not really wanting to do it anymore. But hopefully if they get another All-Star game in Yankee Stadium, that would be nice. I think the next year's All-Star game is in Philadelphia. I don't know if they've announced one after that. So we'll see what they end up doing after that.
Yeah, so Cal Raleigh wins. He was batting for both sides of the plate in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And then he decided to do mostly lefty because he was hitting the best from that side. But he hit 8 from the left side and 7 from the right side in the first round.
That right field though is a lot shorter. There's a lot shorter of a porch and shorter walls and stuff, so it made more sense to bat lefty.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I completely forgot about Rushman doing that in the home run derby where he did from both sides of the plate. Because when they showed the highlights, I was like, oh right, that was actually really cool. And it's cool. I think guys who can hit from both sides of the plate should do that in the home run derby.
I love Todd Frazier being on there because he's a guy that's been in a home run derby, has the experience of doing it, and really gave some good insight. Eduardo Perez and Ravitch, I didn't know what they were saying a lot of the time. Ravitch
actually said that Cal Raleigh had way more home runs than anyone else in baseball.
Yeah, and he's 2 over Judge.
It's 3.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, I don't. Some of the stuff that they were saying, just and you know what's funny too is the broadcast booth for the home run derby used to be as entertaining as the home run derby with Chris Berman, the back. I mean, that was as good as anything. Every sports fan knows what you're saying when you say it, like when you say that. So
that got tiresome after a while, but when I wasn't sick of Chris Berman doing that, it was actually a lot of fun. I will give you that. But like 20 years of it was like, all right, it's enough. Congrats to Cal Raleigh, who was he's going to be on Team USA in the WBC.
Yes, he'll be
catching. That's a pretty stacked team, right? Because it's so far we know Judge, Raleigh, Bobby Witt Jr., Skeens. I mean, just that.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if they can beat Japan, though.
Yeah, that's always a problem. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, and hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. We send out lineups during the season, roster moves, and breaking news so you don't have to check social media. There is a 14-day free trial. Coming up, we're going to tell you all about the players that the Yankees drafted next.
Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even that more exciting. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game with all your friends are getting sunburnt on the beach. Now, I've been using FanDuel to track all my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, there's fast ways to get paid out, and makes even in regular season games that much more fun to watch, and it makes them feel like they're must-watch events. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching my bet run into the 9th inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm part of the action at all moments. Are you new to FanDuel? New customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started.
If you're new to the show, we do something every week. It's called Fan Mail Friday. You get to ask us questions, whatever questions you like, Yankee related, baseball related, life related, whatever. if you're a YouTube viewer and you're not a Locked On Yankees insider, you go to our channel's page, you click on the post tab, and you will see the latest post where I tell you to leave your questions. It's very easy and easy for me to find the questions. The deadline is Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Stacey, I always find it very strange how many picks there are in the baseball draft. I know there's a lot of kids in America that play baseball, but it is wild how many rounds baseball has. We think the NFL has a lot of rounds with 8. We think the NBA has a lot of rounds where really only 2 matter at all. It is wild how many rounds there are in Major League Baseball's draft. It still makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I had the tally or the tracker on Yankees.com open in the afternoon to see who kept popping up, because it was, I think, how many rounds today? It was a bunch, because there's 20. Mm-hmm. And they had everything listed. So they had 1 through 20 and they were just filling them in. And I was sitting there going, wow, this is going to take a while. But it actually didn't. It actually got speedy towards the last rounds. It was like basically every 15 minutes that they were making picks, because it's not a big deal in those rounds. Like, they're not like taking 10 minutes to decide who they're going to pick. It's like they go through it. But
well, they used to have like 60 rounds or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be even more insane.
Yeah. Like, what round was Mike Piazza picked in? It was like a really... he went in the 62nd round, I believe, it's just so, and he's the only notable player to ever get drafted after like the 40th round. Mm-hmm.
He's a Hall of Famer, which is an unbelievably impressive draft pick, I guess. But it's so weird how many these guys you get drafted now so late in the draft. It's like, is it that impressive at this point?
Yeah, well,
it's crazy.
Well, I mean, when you think about all the different guys who play baseball around the country and all the different schools and stuff, I mean, it is kind
I
of...
wonder how many of these guys actually make appearances at the minor league level for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Or are they just draft picks who get cut pretty quickly? Yeah.
So we mentioned a few of these on yesterday's show, but the first pick that the Yankees made, number 39 overall, Dax Kilby, who's a shortstop out of Newnan High School in Newnan, Georgia, born in 2006. His birthday's November 2006. He's by far the youngest one out of all the draft picks. All the other guys were born in 03, 04, 02. So
they breed baseball talent down in Georgia. Down in the South, it's all about college football and baseball. They breed athletes down there. It's insane.
Yeah, in the 3rd round, 103rd pick overall, Caden Kent, who's also a shortstop out of Texas A&M, Jeff Kent's son.
Yeah, so watch out, Anthony Volpe. They're drafting shortstops to replace you almost immediately.
Yeah, they've actually, let's see, I think there were 3 shortstops drafted. Yeah, a bunch of right-handed pitchers, a lefty, a few infielders, some outfielders. We're not going to go through everyone, but we'll go through the notable names just because.
Mm-hmm.
So their 3rd pick is Pico Cone, left-handed pitcher from Mississippi State. I was like,
I'd follow this. I would follow this. The pitching draft picks the Yankees make, they've done a really good job over the years with pitching draft picks.
Yeah.
You're seeing Ben Hetz now come up through the minor league system pitching really well. So they've done a really good job when it comes to drafting young pitching talent. They're very good at spotting guys that have good spin rate at young ages and good mechanics and stuff. So if you want to follow what they're doing in the draft, I would look at what these guys did at younger levels in in college baseball or in high school baseball, pitching wise, because they've done actually the Yankees are very methodical and very particular on what they draft in the pitching, and it's worked out for them recently.
Next up in the 5th round, 164th pick overall, the other shortstop. His name is Core Jackson out of Utah. Core, like the Earth's core.
That is a baseball name. That does sound like a baseball player.
No, it's cool. I will tell an embarrassing thing. I wrote a manuscript 22 years ago about an ordinary girl who meets a famous baseball player and her life gets turned upside down. It's that kind of a tale. And he was modeled after Derek Jeter, and I named him Dane Jackson because that's a cool baseball name. And that kind of reminded me of it because of the amount of letters in the first name and Jackson. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's
Core Jackson. Core Jackson definitely has the curly, longer hair hanging out of the back of his hat.
He's out of Notre Dame. No, Rory Fox, the next pick, is out of Notre Dame. He's a right-handed pitcher. And the 7th round pick, my favorite because he's a local kid, Richie Bonamolo Jr. He's at Alabama right now, but he's a local boy from the Bronx. Went to Cardinal Hayes, like my cousins, Chris and Eric, which I thought was really cool. He's an outfielder, and he's like, they were saying he's like a Brett Gardner type.
Yeah, we used to I used to play Cardinal Hayes in high school lacrosse a lot. So very familiar with
high school lacrosse too.
Really talented sports school.
Yeah.
Cardinal Hayes, really good sports school. So I guess that's a good sign. And then again, like you got a lot of these picks too that are much later on in the draft and everything like that. It is so hard with the baseball draft to get excited about it though. It's the one spot in pro sports right now where baseball is really at a loss when it comes to getting the fans excited. You see, the NFL draft has like 500,000 people that'll show up to Green Bay.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. And then baseball just doesn't have that when it comes to the draft, unfortunately. There's not really much they can do about it.
Yeah.
They can't really do much to get people excited when you don't see these players for 5 or 6 years.
Right. Like
if you're lucky.
They used to have like the former players there working in the room with the guys. But then again, now that they moved it to the All-Star weekend, it's like, well, it is the weekend when they're doing it, but it's just not the same as when it was not during this time. And I feel like some things get lost because it's during this time of the year. I don't think it's fair, but they changed it to that. So,
and not a lot of people, again, like we've said, not a lot of these people remember these prospects even being drafted by the time they're up in the major leagues. So it's tough to get excited about these draft picks. And like, put it this way. Cam Schlittler was taken in the 7th round of the 2022 Major League Baseball draft. So you're talking 3 years ago, and that's a quick path for the minor leagues.
Yeah.
That's really quick. You're talking 3 years ago to basically making his debut, and that was in the 7th round. So you never know, but that's what we're talking about, though, where the Yankees are really good at spotting young pitching talent. They saw something in him and knew that they could take what he had already and improve upon it and make him into a viable major leaguer, and they made him into a top-tier prospect. You just have to trust your organization can do that.
So the Yankees drafted 10 pitchers, 1 lefty, the rest are all righties out of the 20 picks that they made. There are the 3 shortstops. There are a few outfielders. There are a couple of infielders there. Shortstop. Oh, excuse me. There's a 4th shortstop, the 20th round. Bryce Martin Grutzelanek is a shortstop out of USC, and not University of South Carolina, but University of Southern California. There's also a Kyle West out of West Virginia and a Justin West out of Louisville. There's a Camden, there's a Brennan, there's a Jack, there's a Jackson, of course, because there's going to be a ton of Jacksons in baseball in these next few years. That's all you're going to see. Any other crazy names? No. Blake, Connor, Mac. I think Pico and Core were the 2, because they were in the first few rounds where everyone was like, those are some interesting names.
And these picks are important. We talk about how late in the draft they are and who knows and everything like that. But one team that we always keep an eye on every single year that we seem to always say, where is all this young talent coming from? How do they have this much trade capital? The Los Angeles Dodgers. And why do they always have that trade capital? Because they're very, very good at drafting. So it does mean something. You got to hit on these picks.
Are you surprised that the Yankees did their first, out of the first 5 picks, they picked 3 shortstops?
No, because I do think that as opposed to other sports, when you're drafting for need on your roster, I think in baseball, you're just taking the most talented player available more often than not. So plus you're going to want to stack up shortstops in your system. You've lost Anthony Volpe to the minor leagues after calling him up a few years ago. George Lombard Jr., who knows how long he's going to wind up staying in the minor leagues. So left side of the infield talent is escaping itself in the minor league system pretty quickly. Also, a lot of these draft picks could show what they're considering trading in a few weeks. You're trying to restock up positions you might be losing in a week or two. So that could also be a possibility.
A very important sale should be finalized in September, and it does affect the Yankees. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to preview the All-Star game because, as you guys know, there are a few Yankees in it, so we need to discuss that next.
If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you just wait? No, of course you called the next one. And that's why having a reliable business line is so important. And that's why you need OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app or computer or phone. Did you juggle just 2 phones to keep your business personal calls separate? OpenPhone solved that instantly. And the AI agent handles after-hours calls, answers common questions, and captures your leads so you never miss a customer ever again. OpenPhone is also offering Locked On Yankees listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/1word-LOCKEDONMLB. That's OpenPhone.com/LOCKEDONMLB. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. And guys, good news. Not only do we cover your team every day, but now we're giving you instant episodes after every single game. You can check out the Locked On Yankees postcast. It'll be hosted by Jay Berman right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed, as well as streaming all over our YouTube channel. You get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. So Stacey, the All-Star game will be Tuesday night. Later on tonight, you'll have Paul Skeens pitching in it. You'll have Aaron Judge batting in it. I doubt they're gonna be giving, if you're a Yankee fan looking forward to watching the Yankees in this All-Star game, I doubt they will get many opportunities to hit in this game. I think you'll maybe see one at bat each, especially the fact that Aaron Boone is the Yankee manager. I don't think he's going to allow a lot of opportunities for the Yankees to get hurt or anything like that. There's a lot more important things on the table going forward for the Yankees.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Judge got more than, they may give him 2, maybe. I think with Jazz, I don't know. They might be careful with him, but you never know. Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Jazz with the lingering injury. I don't know if you want to have him get another at bat. Plus, Jazz has the tendency to want to try and put on a show.
Yeah.
And he might go up there swinging his shoes out, trying to hit a home run in the All-Star game. So I don't know if you want to give him the chance to do that, is what I should say.
Yeah.
So don't give him the chance to get hurt. Skeens versus Skubal will be a really good starting pitching matchup to watch. Both guys are really deserving. Paul Skeens, for the first time all year at the All-Star break, is not the favorite to win the National League Cy Young anymore. Thoughts on that? Are you surprised, not surprised? Mainly it's because he's got like a 4-8 record now with an under 2 ERA, which is absolutely absurd. But Zach Wheeler took him over as the favorite now, who's also having a crazy year. Are you surprised by that or no?
No, because people still look at wins and losses, even though it doesn't always have to do with the pitcher necessarily. So I don't think that's fair to him, but Wheeler's having a really good year. Is this the first time that the All-Star game starters both have names that start with SK?
Probably. I
would think so. That's not a common.
I'd be willing to bet that. No, that's not common at all.
Yeah, I think it's probably a first. All the people that do research and they look up all these odd stats, and I was thinking about that as I was looking at it. It's like, I think this is probably the first time that's happened.
It was also announced that Shohei Ohtani will lead off for the National League. Cal Raleigh will hit cleanup for the American League. And it was discovered that Shohei Ohtani's favorite food to eat, which makes him good at baseball, is meat. He loves to eat meat. He revealed that during the All-Star media festivities. That's what makes him good at baseball, according to Shohei Ohtani.
I eat a lot of meat, and I'm not good at baseball. So.
Yeah, exactly. It hasn't worked out for me either. So I'm glad Shohei Ohtani worked out for him.
I'm a quarter Irish. I grew up, meat and potatoes, and, because my mom is half Irish, so I'm a quarter Irish because of her, and she cooked a lot of stuff that she grew up on. So, nope, didn't help me with baseball. Not at all.
So, Stacey, some interesting baseball news that does kind of affect the Yankees. The Tampa Bay Rays are going to be sold for $1.7 billion. They're being purchased by a Florida-based developer, Patrick Zalupski. So it does appear Major League Baseball is going to push to have them stay in the Tampa Bay area. They don't want them moving out of that area. Interestingly enough, the Tampa Bay Rays do have some of the highest television network ratings of all teams in baseball. You would never think that. So people do watch the Rays on television.
But that's because they don't want to go to Clearwater. Well, now they have to go to Tampa to watch them, but no one wants to cross that bridge to go to Clearwater. So it actually does make sense that all their fans would rather watch them on TV than get stuck having to go 45 minutes each way to Clearwater to watch them.
So, but people do care about that team down there. It is
Sure.
I was more saying that because it is a misconception that people think no one cares about baseball down there, and it's not true.
No,
people don't go to the games, but they are a popular team. People do root for the Rays and stuff. So it is interesting how that works.
Steinbrenner Field was bigger. If Steinbrenner Field was like a regular baseball stadium and it held 30,000 people, more people would go there because it's easier to get to, because it's on Dale Mabry. It's right across from the Bucks Stadium where everyone goes to. So I think with the Rays, they really need to think about definitely moving into Tampa Bay proper.
So are you shocked at $1.7 billion? That feels like a lot of money for one of the lowest valued teams in baseball.
I don't know, because I feel like a lot of things are, I guess, overpriced in a way lately.
The going rate of sports franchises is absolutely insane of what franchises sell for in sports nowadays. It's crazy. I just never expected the Rays to sell for this price. It's a crazy high price. Every time a new team sells in sports, like the Lakers just sold for $10 billion. Every time a new team sells in sports, I don't think this is anywhere near.
That makes sense. The Lakers selling for $10 billion makes sense. And the Rays selling for just over $1 billion. I guess that makes sense.
Just under 2, really. 1.7
is because it's closer. But between 1 and 2.
It's wild to me what the valuation of sports teams is. Because again, I don't think anyone had the Rays as one of the top valued teams in sports. But lo and behold, I mean, look what they went up selling for. Again, everything in this world is worth what people are willing to pay for it. Yeah. But I always go back to the question of what in the world would Hal Steinbrenner get for the New York Yankees? I genuinely, it begs the question, because I don't think the Yankees are anywhere close to selling, and I don't think it's going to happen any remote time soon. But could you imagine what someone, especially with a New York-based team and the iconic brand of what the Yankees are, but how many rich mogul billionaires, people that we've never even heard of, just worth zillions of dollars that you've never even heard of. Imagine for yourself what one of those people would be willing to pay for the New York Yankees.
How much did Cohen pay for the Mets?
I believe it was $4.5 billion. I'll look it up right now. I believe it was $4.5 billion.
Yeah, because I would think
$2.4 billion, which actually feels like a bargain. $2.4 billion for the New York Mets.
Is it different buying baseball teams compared to other sports? I don't understand why.
What do you mean?
Would be, because if the Lakers were 10 million and the Mets were only 10 billion and the Mets were only 2.4 billion, the Mets are in New York. I know they're the Mets, but they're in New York. Like, they're a New York baseball team. Yeah, they're not in Buffalo. They're not in Albany. They're in New York City proper. Like, that seems so.
And their valuation has risen a lot. Sure. It is wild. But 2.4 billion now feels like an absolute bargain for the New York Mets, because I mean, the Rays are selling for 1.7 billion. And I think the Mets should be worth a heck of a lot more than the Rays are worth.
I'm surprised by that. I'm actually very surprised by that. That they're that.
It is just wild what these teams go for now, what they sell for. The amount of money that's in sports is so much more insurmountable than anybody could have ever thought 30, 40 years ago. What sports teams are worth and how much money flows through the sports just industry in general when it comes to jersey sales and TV sales and ticket prices. It's at a whole nother level than anyone ever could have imagined it would have gotten to. So it is just wild what these teams are selling for. Because I mean, Steinbrenner purchased the Yankees for $10 million back in, what was it, 72, but the start of 73.
Yeah.
$10 million. I mean, it's one of the greatest investments ever made ever.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, I think the Yankees would probably sell for north of $10 billion. Playing in New York, their own their own television network, one of the most iconic brands in sports. I think they would sell for north of $10 billion if they actually were put for sale. I don't think they'd put them for sale, but it is wild to think about what the valuation of sports teams are. I just think Tampa Bay selling for 1.7 was a high number, but again, everything is worth what someone's willing to pay for it.
All right, well, thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. You get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.